do after our press conference.
What's going on, everybody? This is Matt Osmond Sr., Blinky's Offset Barbecue. Welcome to Right on Cue. Today, as a little bit late, we have none other than, we're going this way. My man, Kiki whichever way. Brother, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Now that we got things kind of set back up, I'm doing great. Everything's good.
Yeah, I mean, the only way we can go is up, right?
Well, you know, I heard you could go sideways. I heard that's a possibility, right?
You don't want to go lateral. No lateral moves.
No laterals.
No lateral moves.
But you've been staying warm this whole winter.
It's been okay. Look, we're in South Mississippi, so it was nothing extreme. At 20 degrees in the morning, 50 in the afternoon. I'm gonna be honest with you. Compared to what y'all are dealing with, it's been a real pleasant week. That the heater didn't work in my office today, so my toes were a little cold.
Yeah, so as I was talking before backstage, and again, I'm biased because I'm getting a lot of localized news here to Nashville, but Tennessee was reported that of this whole storm and cell, it got a lot of the worst damage, mainly because of icing, etc. And then mainly because of, and again, these aren't my reports. I've not vetted every single thing, so let me say that up front. But that Davidson County, Nashville, because of the popularity and the density, got the worst of the whole state. And then, as I was telling our guest, apparently out here on the west side of Davidson County in Bellevue, we got the worst. They reported something like 400 power lines down within the Davidson County.
Wow.
And I know reported of Bellevue, it was 18 or 20 of them. So you're looking at a decent percentage right there, you know, that just of it off the rip was pretty bad. But hey, shout out to the power line workers.
Right.
Those people braving it. There were lives lost, but I think a lot of that was some elderly folks, but a lot of people like carbon monoxide poisoning, either cooking or Jenny's running indoors. So it's very sad. But anyway, we all kind of are experiencing it. I'm a little bit happy tonight because kids go back to school tomorrow.
Right.
They canceled for all last week and then for today.
Last week?
All last week, our kids were out. And some of the schools, I think, still don't have power to them, but they're continuing with the rest of the school program. So, but
you're over there just praying, God, please be
but much like a barbecue competition and the barbecue, you know, brethren and all, communities come together, right? Like I had cooked before and I, you know, sold stuff by the pound and whatnot to kind of, and I was just about to cook up more and offer more. I'll either be open this weekend, maybe next. And man, the first 2 days, I'm going to run everything half price as just a continued way to give back and to help. Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, I did a whole bunch of driving around and helping folks with different things like that, but it's, this storm affected lots of people. So we'll kind of say it like that. But we've got a great guest on tonight.
You know, I heard that he's not afraid to cook in the snow.
He is definitely familiar with it. He's not afraid to cook in 30-mile-per-hour winds and freezing temperatures. Last time I shook his hand was actually this past year at the Royal, but I've seen him at several places in and around. But folks, we have no other than one Mr. Take It Easy, Mr. Dan Wright.
Easy. I tell you what, this guy right here, beautiful face. Look at the beard. I can't grow that. I'm jealous.
Yeah, he has that baby face.
You just got to not shave for a couple days, man. It grows on you. I promise. Just try it.
I have my wife and kids just demand that I shave it off every single time. So I do what they tell me to do, you know?
So I'm a slight bit of the opposite. My wife, as long as I have some sort of a goatee, I'm okay with that. But I'm not allowed per my marriage agreement to be completely shaven. That's
so
for my household.
Understandable.
Can you flip that around one more time? Let's get Dan on the.
I'm trying.
There
he is.
There we go.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll just give you all that. They can just hear us.
Look at him. Let me see how to do this, guys. Hey, I am navigating the backside of this right now, so y'all just bear with me on this.
Well, the audio is almost more what's important.
Right.
But Dan, let's take it from the top. We're gonna ask you some generic. We're gonna ask you some off the wall questions. Let's go. Podcast 101, brother. Let's do the introduction for anybody who doesn't know you.
Yeah. So I'm Dan Wright, Take It Easy Barbecue out of St. Louis, Missouri. Currently entering my 4th competition season. We've hit the trail pretty hard over the last 3 years, probably cooking nearly 80 contests, and it's been a ride. So kind of started on the judging side and got into the comp side here locally in St. Louis, and then last year kind of branched more out to the KCBS side, and been having a blast.
What you said 80 contests, 4 years, and what has been your so far highest year of competitions? Like, is it last year's, the first year?
Yeah, so those 80 contests were over my first 3 years. So 23 was my first competition year. Won Rookie of the Year here for St. Louis Barbecue Society. That was a great accomplishment. It was a good year. It was fun. Cooked 20 contests between 2 sanctions, so Clinton County Barbecue Society and then St. Louis. So it was, definitely a fun year. Obviously, wasn't really sure what to expect. And had some decent calls. The following year was definitely a fun run as well. Again, cooked St. Louis Barbecue Society, Clinton County, and then did a few KCBS, like 2 or 3 of them. Most of which of those were no calls for KCBS. SLBS, I did end up winning chicken and rib team of the year in 24 and third. And then last year, man, I definitely say 2025 was definitely my breakout year. I cooked 35-ish contests kind of across 4 sanctioning bodies. So KCBS, St. Louis Barbecue Society. I did SCA events, won 2 golden tickets, nice. Rib cook-off, just kind of, trying to be the jack of all trades. I'm typically a guy that likes to throw my hat in the ancillaries or some of the extras that are there. I'll probably be dialing that back this year, just to try and hone in more on the 4 meats and, try and keep splashing.
Now,
go ahead.
My bad. Go for it, Blinky.
No.
Okay. So the St. Louis Barbecue Society, that is mainly KCBS, just its own entity?
Yeah, so St. Louis Barbecue Society has been around, 17, 18 years. So it's another sanctioning body similar to KCBS. We cook. So we do have both a masters and a backyard division. So a 4 meat and a 2 meat. SLBS is the real deal. There's a lot of great teams that have come out of SLBS and have done really well, nationally. It's very similar.
Any differences?
So the overall scoring is a 225 versus a 180. So a straight 9s would be a 45 instead of a 36. I think the weights between appearance, taste, and tenderness are slightly different, but otherwise, standard 4 meats, chicken ribs, pork brisket. We got 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after turn-in times. Noon, 12:30. 1:30, same deal. I have no problems running between the two. It's kind of hard not to cook contests either. 30.
That's huge.
Yeah, and everything else. Like we had 27 killer teams yesterday in a snow-covered KOA campground. So we had freeze queues, the longest standing St. Louis Barbecue Society event. And 27 teams. Me and Wade Reeder, No Place Like Smoke, actually rolled in from Nebraska, made 26 and 27. So it was it was a haul, but it's a great society, great event. If anybody is interested in getting involved or cooking St. Louis Barbecue Society, certainly reach out. We got a lot of great events coming up this year, so love to get some more teams out there. And
Are there Are there any KCBS contests that double as a St. Louis one, like one and the same, or run a double event? They're always separate.
Yep. Yeah. Currently they are separate. Yep. Yeah. So we have our own points chase with our own events. So, Ryan Sidem only cans. He won team of the year last year from St. Louis Barbecue Society. And, former teams that have won, Heavy Smoke, Chris Schaefer, Triple H, Billy Hine, Brian Payton, Meet Me in St. Louis. Like, a lot of great teams that come out of the area.
Heavy hitters, dude.
Yep.
Which, speaking of Brian, shout out to him for at RGC, right, over in Nebraska. Not the best cook for everybody, I heard. And some folks, and it's early. That's the good news. It's early.
No, it had been a while since I called the contest, and I'll tell you what, the first half hour back to St. Louis was a little tough on the mind. And I'm like, you know what, man, like, I know where I was at. I felt pretty decent about my boxes, and I thought I had a chance of getting a pretty high call in ribs there in Nebraska, and just didn't work out. But ride to St. Louis about 9:20, 9:30. I mean, I pulled out of Nebraska 2:20. So I don't have a porch trailer. Money Stove Chase helped me load up my drums, and and me and Wade hit the road and stopped for gas a couple times, and we pulled in. And with it being local for me, I'm lucky. My wife was able to run up a cooler of the next round of meat and injections and everything I had mixed at home. And nice. She actually threw my chicken in the brine and got it started and just threw it in the cooler. So when I got there, it was just time to take out the chicken, just inject pork, inject brisket, and sat in a chair for a few minutes, talked to a couple guys, and then tried to fall asleep. In the trailer. It wasn't super warm, but
I might be able to help here, actually. If you want, I will give you a 1-to-1 lesson of how to go through awards from start to finish, sitting on your hands and not getting up at all, man. I'm great at it. I promise. It's not as fun as walking, but you can do it. I'm a living example of how to get a no call competition one after another.
Man, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's going to happen, right? It's just kind of the way it goes. And honestly, I mean, sometimes I think, I need it sometimes, to be honest. It just kind of brings you back and just make sure your feet are still touching the ground, and like, you're human, and you're not like, I mean, we're not going to win every contest, right? We're not. I mean,
there's got to be within barbecue. There's so many engineers and statisticians and people that are way smarter than myself. I wonder, one team always is going to hit that, right? Meaning the most consecutive comps without a call, and then the most consecutive comps with a call, right? Like those are going to be two metrics guaranteed. What do you think the longest, like, take a stab at? I want answers from both of you. Take a stab at, one or the other of team blank that has done, let's set a standard of 15 contests this season. Right? Let's go kind of on the low side. What do you think that is to get no call and to constantly get a call? How many comps in a row do you think that is?
I don't know, man. On average,
anybody.
I mean, I know if I'm not getting a call in two comps, and this might not be the right way of thinking, but if I'm not getting a call in two comps, I'm rethinking a couple of things, hoping to tweak. I mean, if I'm not getting a call in 15 comps, my wife's going to look at me and say, "You're wasting our money. Please stop." I don't know, man. Dan, have you gotten a call in 15 straight comps?
No, unfortunately not. I had a pretty crappy weekend in September. Well, actually, no. I mean, I technically did have a call in the first contest, but that was it, and shit the bed in the rest, and then I rolled to another contest and no called. So that was definitely the toughest weekend of my career. It was definitely a really hard Monday morning. And I mean, for one of the first times, like, I was like, just like, what in the world? Like, what, what's going on? And, a couple guys were like, "Hey man, look, you've been running really hard. Like, I mean, maybe you need to take a week off." And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'd rather just cook through it.
Yeah.
So I think the next week I went to Murfreesboro. So
and that went well.
yeah. No, we got the apple. So yeah, no, I mean we've had a pretty good stretch, and it's just honestly I think a lot of it's coming. I mean, I'm cooking almost every week, and to me, I mean, actually, somebody that took my recent class, actually, he asked me, he goes, in 3 years, why do you think you're at where you're at, or how are you performing what you are? And I said, well, I mean, I definitely took classes, right? So I took classes, but I didn't just take classes. I think somebody commented here already. I think it was High on a Hog. Like, I mean, I eat, breathe, and live this. Like, I literally do. Yes, I do have a full-time job, but like, I mean, I just cooked 80 contests in 3 years across five or six different total sanctioning bodies. Like, I am literally cooking constantly, whether it's at home or on the competition trail, any of that. And every time I can get on a pit, I mean, and you don't have to be practicing, your chicken thighs, you don't have to be practicing your ribs, but you're understanding, how that meat's looking, how it's feeling, different mouth feels. Like, I mean, I'll definitely tell you one thing. In 2023, what I thought was tender is not tender.
Right.
And and actually Josh Hess Hog. So I can specifically remember he brought his daughter in my trailer after a contest last year. I'm trying to remember where we were, and he had his daughter try whatever I was cooking, and he looked at her and he goes, "Okay, now do you see what I mean by when something's really tender but not over?" And it was just like, and he's like, "See," he's like, that's it. So yeah, no, it's just a lot of repetition. Believe it or not, a lot of trial and error. I mean, I've definitely burned up a lot of meat.
Yeah.
I mean, I've burned up stuff recently, and part of that was just, I had a temp gauge issue and didn't realize it till it was too late. But, I just, getting out there and pounding the pavement.
Now, what are you cooking on? Tell us about your setup, man. I mean, are you a drum guy? Are you a pellet smoker? I mean, what are you on?
Yeah. So I got a 7x14 trailer with barn doors, so it can fit into my driveway, and I can get into it without needing another 8 feet of clearance to
Right.
drop a door. So I cook on all Gateway drum smokers. So I cook on 355s, and I actually cook my chicken on a 30-gallon.
I've seen that. I'm intrigued by that, man, because it's does it take less fuel? Does it get hotter? What, I mean, tell me about that little drum. I'm interested in that.
Yeah. So I mean, so it definitely does take less fuel. I mean, I think my charcoal basket's probably still full by the time I'm done with chicken.
Nice.
It just doesn't really use that much, right? I mean, maybe it's lit, and then it's lit for 2.5 hours total.
Yeah.
Between setting the sauce and everything. But man, no, it's a great little cooker, especially. So I only cook one pan of chicken, so I cook 8 pieces of chicken a contest. This will be my 3rd year doing that now.
Really?
And I mean, I just fit a pan. It's an 18-inch grate, just one half pan. I'm using the foul forms.
Hashtag foul forms.
Yeah, and just drop that pan in there, and I can get it to jump up in a hurry if I want to, and I can get it to kind of calm down a bit if I want to also. And yeah, it just kind of preserves a little bit of space. It's pretty easy to get in and out of the trailer by myself, and it's been cooking hell of a chicken. I mean, we were fortunate enough to place 6th in KCBS last year, in the rankings there. So, I mean, chicken's always been a strong suit for me, and I honestly have been running pretty much the same recipe. This will be my 4th year running the same deal.
Yeah.
So do people, when you tell them, whether at a class or something on here now, you cook 8 pieces for a comp, do they freak out like I just kind of did, but controlled my body language, or at least I tried to?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, there's a backyard team, Fire Pig. I met him earlier this year, and he was kind of talking to me. He's like, man, he goes, you only run eight pieces. I think he was at Troy, and I was fortunate enough to win that contest with the 180 chicken. And, he's like, man, I can't believe you cook 8. I was like, yeah, man, try it. And so he did a practice at home, cooked 8. He goes, man, I would have turned in almost all of them. Like, why am I sitting here trimming 12 or 16? Like, let me just, so I believe the next contest he cooked, I believe he cooked just 8, and I believe he actually GC'd the contest. So, you just gotta, I know you just gotta try it and believe it.
I've done it. It's terrifying that first go. You're sitting there holding your breath. You're like, good Lord, please, no busted skins, no busted skins.
And see, I don't even worry about busted skins. I've 180 chicken with busted skins before. Sauce and finished dust can hide it.
Just make them look pretty, huh?
Yeah.
Well, and ugly barbecue still wins, in my opinion.
I mean,
at
the end of the day, it's all about taste and
Ugly
tenderness.
barbecue definitely does win.
And anybody who's seen any of my boxes for any of the limited amount of awards that I have will tell you ugly barbecue can win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 8 pieces of chicken. And by the way, you are allowed to tell as little as you want. There's rhyme and reason for this. Like you mentioned earlier, you have a class that folks have taken. Is this something you're doing on an annual, biannual? Like, what's your perception for your classes that you tell all?
Yeah, not really sure. To be honest, I wasn't really even planning to do a class this year. But with a couple nudges from a couple folks that I kind of look up to, and just conversations, it was just like, hey man, look, like, I mean, you're relevant, right? Like, people want to learn from you, like let them learn from you. And in my head initially, I'm like, man, like why do I want to give up the keys of the kingdom? So like I'll tell you, like, so beginning of last year, like my ribs were on fire, and like I mean I won the Cordy meat, like 1 meat ribs. I just 180 ribs down in South Haven. Had, I think, second place ribs St. Roberts, 5th down at the KCBS Open, the Wells Cup. I mean, just bang, bang, bang. Ribs were hot at that time. Chicken was not. I mean, I had a couple good chicken calls there, but ribs are on fire. And some people are like, man, like, why don't you do a rib class? I'm like, why would I give up the keys of the kingdom to make, let's say, $2,000 for a class on ribs?
Yeah.
Like, assume whatever. And like, 10 people at $200. Like, I mean, I got more than that in prize money in 4 weeks. Like now I'm going to teach 20 other people how to cook that exact rib. It just didn't make sense for me at the time, but just kind of
got to cook it.
Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, as the season went on, and that was kind of part of the conversation that kept coming back to me, it was like, hey, look, like, I mean, just because I took, Heavy Smokes class or just, like whatever, doesn't mean I can replicate everything that he can do. And so I, like, what? I'm like, yeah, like here, let's teach some teams. And yeah, no, man, I mean, we had a heck of a class. I've been doing a lot of backyard classes as well at Smoke Ring, just trying to help people just be better cooks at home. And that's been really rewarding and a lot of fun. It also just allows me to do some non-comp food, but kind of still teach some comp methods in terms of, hey, injecting and some trimming and meat selection and just some different things like that. And people, really like some of the detail that I'm going into and just teaching them about flavor profiles. And here's different products to use. And here, here's how you can mix and match them to get the flavor you want, or maybe your picky son wants, or whatever it is. But yeah, no, I mean, the comp class, I mean, it could become an annual deal. I mean, I guess really depends on, I mean, if people still want to learn from me, right? I mean, so far, we had a sold out class this year. So far the results have been good from some of the students. I know there was an unsanctioned GC just last weekend coming from the class. I know he ran a couple of my meets. This weekend there were several teams in the field. Yesterday, there were I believe about half of the top 10 briskets yesterday had part of my brisket recipe.
There you go.
Whether to the T or pretty involved. So, I think it's a testament to a couple deals. So
what does that mean to you as somebody who, in my opinion, and maybe, but you're newer to comp barbecue, right? You're making a hell of a run at it. What does it mean for you to go in a shorter period of time from somebody who was asking, who did take classes, to now being an instructor, to having enough merits, enough hardware, and for people to follow along with you? But the final kind of nail in the coffin is for somebody who sat in your class and come back to you and say, right here, this, like, I ran yours and now I have that. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I was reflecting on kind of yesterday's cook with a couple of guys. I mean, earlier before this podcast, and I mean, even yesterday, like kind of during awards. So, Bumpy Pickle, Virgil Smith, some of you guys may know him. So he hit a second place brisket yesterday. And like, I mean, dude, as soon as I heard him called, like I just stood up and I went right back to him. Man, him and I hugged, and man, I was so proud of him. He's been cooking with his dad, for a few years, and he's been really like chasing that kind of Masters Pro call and trophy. And I mean, I remember 2 years ago watching him get his first trophy at a Clinton County event in Greenville, Illinois, and he's crying, and just it reminded me of my my first big call. And man, just that moment was a bit more rewarding for me than my RGC. And part of that's because it's not just like, hey man, like, not only did I, show you this process and everything, but, he was able to replicate it, which, I think I'm a pretty decent teacher. I saw some guys' notes that they took from the class, and like they are crazy detailed, and they were just like, they're this detailed because that's how much you talked, right? Like I just was like, oh yeah, and by the way, like this, like little stuff, and it's all.
It goes into it.
Yeah, that's stuff that I picked up across 80 contests, multiple classes, like just here's how I see it. Yeah, no, it was definitely rewarding. And I've always been one to celebrate my friends anyways. And like, when guys are coming up saying, hey man, I'm running your chicken today, or hey man, actually a team had to borrow some seasonings from me because they forgot some that was in my brisket, and so it was, it was super rewarding. And honestly, I can't wait to see how the rest of the season goes for these teams. I made a comment, in the class that I'm looking forward to the take it easy flavors hitting more of the tables.
There we go.
And all that hard work that you put in, teaching them, explaining to them. Look, I'm a teacher. Like that's what I do for a living. And to see that type of success come out of your students, it's like seeing your kids have success, not saying that they're your children, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's one of those proud moments. It's like, I was able to help with that, man.
Yeah.
So, the hugs are legitimate hugs of joy for your friends. You're bummed you didn't get the call, but at the same time, you're pumped for your buddies,
This one right here, which was my first, I've only got two. The quick story about it, and a lot of folks were there for it. So Paul Blew Up, Smoking Ghost, one of my barbecue mentors, he missed his first place port call because he was congratulating me on my second place port call. And like that right there just meant a lot to me, right? Because that was of Masters my highest port call at the time. Plus, it was my first apple, and like that was just a moment in my barbecue comp journey of like, all right, you kind of did something, right? You got an apple at Murfreesboro. there's those watermarks that each team has from comp to comp. I'm still chasing my first record from Smoking the Shores. It's my hometown being a Nashville competition. I don't have a top 10 call. This will be my 6th year cooking it. Am I gonna stop? No, I'm not gonna stop. Am I gonna go crazy if I finally get one? Absolutely, I'm going to. People like act like you've been there before. I'm like,
no,
but I haven't. not at this one.
Right. Yeah, and there were some teams that have been really good to me over the years too, and especially before I even cooked my first contest, coming in hot, STL, Danny V and Nathan Harrison at the time. And I went and shadowed them at 2 contests. I went to St. Roberts, Missouri, and I went to Wash Mo, and man, I just kind of stood around, kind of watched them do turn-ins. I walked their boxes at a couple of the contests and started meeting a bunch of other teams. And, also, I started making my way into other teams' trailers, just kind of like, hey man, how's it going? And just kind of, and teams were, hey man, try this. Hey, try that, see what you think of this. And they're like, teams were really good to me in the beginning. And to be honest, I was then quickly no longer allowed in trailers.
Once you start, instead of walking boxes, you're walking for awards. Yeah. No.
But so just trying to help. Yeah, really, I want to see this sport grow, and I think we got a good thing going right now in St. Louis. We got a lot of, last year we had one of our largest rookie team kind of declaration class. I think 7 or 8 teams total. We have quite a few in this year. I think we might be around 5 or 6. But we got a lot of teams in the area, and I can be a mentor to these teams and just try and continue to help the sport grow, because we need teams, we need judges, we need sponsors, we need supporters, we need people that want to eat barbecue. And it's been a blast.
So
Go ahead,
with
Keegan.
so we both want to ask so many questions.
Yeah.
So with the St. Louis Barbecue Society being so close to you, do you feel like you will cook that for the rest of your days in competition barbecue and dabble in others, or are you trying to full send in every which direction? Because I see you're also in the Rib Cook Off Association. By the way, those are a blast. So, I mean, are you just trying to dabble in others and focus on the St. Louis barbecue, or I mean, what's your plan? Are you going to go full send KCBS?
So I don't think I have the. I don't think I'm not ready to run points in KCBS. So at the at least for an overall or whatever. Now, I mean, if it just kind of happens, it may just happen. I mean, last year's run kind of just happened, and that was just because I was chasing chicken points. At first, I thought I was running great points, and just ended up maybe didn't make a bunch of super smart decisions, but it worked out. I mean, as SLBS. I mean, there's no reason not to cook it. I mean, most of the contests are within an hour and a half from my house.
Makes
You
sense.
know, last year I did opt for a couple other sanctioned events last year over a couple of them, and that's just because where I was points wise, and it just in my head it made sense at the time for me to go do that. But yeah, I mean, I at the end of the day, regardless of what parking lot I pull in, regardless of what
Right.
something body it is, regardless of what meat I'm cooking, I want people to know I'm there.
There you go. I
Right.
like it.
I mean, SCA, like I said, I mean, I like cooking them. They're fast. It's just it's a different event. If it's a different style cook, it's a lot quicker, a lot less to deal with. And a different group of guys, or different group of folks. And, I look forward to, seeing folks like Little Bear that's on here, when I'm doing SCA and, just like that's a blast. Like I just did the When Pigs Fly indoor bash with Smoking Brothers there 2 weeks ago and got 2 fifth place calls. It was, it was a good time. Rib cook off. I mean, I've always felt like I've been a good rib cook. I, did a couple of those, and I cooked their first worlds last year in January in the snowstorm.
It's Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, well, it was in Oklahoma, but I wanted to stay for awards. I'm like,
Oh,
man,
that's right. That's when that massive. I remember hearing about it. Yeah, everybody was like, "Come on, let's hightail! Like it's coming."
Yeah. So we stayed for awards, and thankfully we did. We ended up going 5th overall out of 114, I believe, rib cooks. There last January, and then we tried driving home. I got to about Springfield, Missouri, and my butthole was puckering so much I had to go to the hotel. It was a little hairy on the road, so we went to Buc-ee's, and I got some. I got that Texas Philly burrito.
Yeah.
Texas Philly burrito, and got a couple other snacks with my wife, and we went and hit the hotel, and got up at about 10 o'clock the next day. I said, well, we got 6 hours of daylight, let's try and get home. So we pulled it home, and it was a bit hairy, but we made it in. So rib cook off, that's been a blast. I did 2 of those last year. One of them, me and Only Cans ran down to Byhalia. Sweet Swine of Mine did an event. And, I took a second place in baby back, and Ryan won spare ribs, and so he punched his ticket to the worlds this year. And of course, I felt a little left out. So the next weekend, I drove 9.5 hours to Larned, Kansas, and said, you know what, I'm going to do this too. And I got a first place spare rib out there, and a few other calls, and you got the overall grand champion. And punched my ticket, and so we're headed back there in April. So rib cook-off's a great time if anybody hasn't done those. It's pretty neat to just kind of see. I mean, everything out there from Weber's to Jambos and Outlaws and Cans, and it's a big variety of cooks. And I think Worlds this year is going to be a heck of a bash.
So I want to hit on something, and then I want to veer it into the big quagmire elephant, I'm going to call it, because there's more information coming out about the World Cup and what it is, what it isn't, which ones are finally qualifiers. But before that, earlier on, you mentioned how you started out, which was judging. Have you done the continued judging courses and things like that? And where do you put, as far as a percentage wise, being a judge first and then a cook? Where do you think that has brought your end results and the boxes and the discernment on the cutting board that you have?
Yeah, so definitely great topic. So so I actually became a St. Louis Barbecue Society judge, and that was actually just from a conversation at a local Home Depot back when I ran the standard. Well, what used to be the standard, we got a new standard now. When I used the different, home, choice of briquette. A guy noticed it was in my cart and was just hey, you into barbecue? And I mean, I'm good. I'm a big guy. He's like, yeah, of course. He goes, man, you could eat barbecue for free. Why don't you sign up for, judging St. Louis Barbecue Society? I said, well, hell, let's do it. So I literally signed up. Like, they ended up having a class just a couple months after that conversation that year. And actually March 1st, we're having another judge class, St. Louis Barbecue Society. Highly recommended. I think, 40 or 60 bucks, man. You can, learn at least, just understand what happens in that room. But yeah, so I started there, and I judged, I believe 12 or 13 contests that year, kind of between masters and backyard. Sometimes I did masters and then I would stay for backyard if they were short a couple of judges. Did a couple of just ribs. So yeah, I mean, judge those. And really, I mean, that started my relationships with the other teams. And that's kind of how I got roped into cooking contests. But yeah, I mean, getting to taste the food and then just see just what the entries look like, I think definitely, I mean, gave me a good start, just to understand, okay, like, hey, like this is, this is what it's going to look like, or this is something to aim towards. I would definitely say it has, I haven't judged anything. Sorry, I have judged Memphis in May twice since then, but otherwise, since that initial year in 22 when I judged those contests, I haven't judged again since. That's because I'm always in the field cooking. And there's not really a contest that I want to miss. And I'm like, oh, I'd rather judge the day. Or
but come on, you could see the boxes and go to it next year.
Last thing I need is to taste something that I think is better than mine, and then start chasing it. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, no, I mean, I think judging just to understand what's going on in that room, I think is super important. And actually, back in July, I actually took the SCA judge class just to fine tune what I thought was happening in there. And actually, to be honest, thank goodness I did take it. There was a couple things that I just I thought it happened one way and it really happened another way. And then the next day I actually won golden tickets in the ancillary and won steak B. So
can you fill me in on that? Because I'm curious as to how they judge SCA.
Yeah, I mean, basically,
steak comes in.
Yeah, steak comes in.
They cut it.
Yeah, they cut it. Yep. So then the top half, is judged on appearance and doneness. And doneness is based on that scale. 8, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8. So you're gauging for that medium. And then they're looking at the taste, overall impression, texture, I believe. Sorry, I haven't cooked 80 of those. I've only cooked like 12, so I don't like over 2 or 3 years. So I don't exactly remember. Little Bear could probably school us, but yeah. So and some of the items have decimals. So you give it 10, 10 for perfect appearance, 10 for perfect doneness. And like I said, then there's decimals in overall impression, and I believe taste maybe. Sorry, I'm yeah, not 100% right. And like yeah, there you go. I'm right. So, but basically, right. So once they cut it, then the judges then are cutting up. So judge one cuts a piece off, closes the box, takes a bite, writes down their score, puts the score in an envelope in the top of the box, and then they pass the box. So the steak sits, in my opinion, a bit longer than what we think our barbecue does, but maybe not. Sorry. Yep. Decimals and taste only. So, but each judge, yep. So they're cutting their own piece. They're eating it, passing the box. They put their score in the top, and it's all by the tickets, which some people hate. Some people, oh, let's hear their name. Like, why are they identified as numbers? And I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, I get the whole, idea behind it. But I believe there's up to 5 judges. Sometimes there's only 4 judges. And then that last one is just kind of like a ghost. And so everything's perfect. So yeah, no, but they're fun events, something different. Typically, if they're in, if they're having an SCA like on Saturday and then KCBS is Sunday, I'll generally cook both.
Okay.
I got you. So with SCA, sorry guys, helping on here late. SCA, like some people go to the SCA just to cook the steak, and that's their primary focus. But I mean, I've talked to a lot of teams that, I mean, the ancillaries are just as important to them as the actual steak cook-off. Is that kind of how you kind of seen it? Because I mean, SCA, there's tons of ancillaries depending on what what cookout they're going to.
Yeah. So for ancillaries for me, so I am not super like fancy or like creative. So like, I mean, if it's creative rules ancillaries, meaning that like anything goes and like you can have all this fancy garnish and like, you can do a
Chefy
a fried
stuff, yeah.
thing with all this stuff. Like that's not me. Like I can cook meat and I mean I can put ribs in the box, but like making stuff look fancy and all that, that's not me. So like if I don't know, like world foods, like that kind of stuff is probably not me. I mean I could stand in the back and suggest some stuff, but I mean I've been fortunate enough to have a few friends, moms kind of help me there. Like, oh, here, cut this red cabbage this way, and then put that in the bottom, and it makes it look nice. And that's actually part of how I won or as part of my entry for the ancillary that I took third in Collinsville that the ticket got passed down for. These like open faced roast beef sandwiches. It was a horseradish ancillary. So Collinsville, Illinois is the horseradish capital. Unbeknownst to me, I live 35 minutes away from it, but
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so I made these like little roast
And
beef.
now you know.
And yeah, I put some horseradish sauce in there. I'm like, man, like what do I put under this? Like, I'm used to putting everything on a bed of kale.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so we cut up some red cabbage, and it gave it a nice contrast, looked really nice, and scored with it. But yeah, so I mean, I don't really do as many of the ancillaries now. If it's ribs or wings, something like that, I will do. But if it's those creative, like margaritas, desserts, stuff like that, I'm typically not doing. But I will say for the SCA ancillaries, like there's some of the stuff that you can kind of prep at home, and it's not as big of a deal, when you're on there. So yeah, I did use Lion's Choice horseradish sauce.
I'm glad you brought up the dessert ancillary. Can we do like a nationwide ban on cheesecakes and dessert categories?
Come on now.
We need to move on. There's plenty of other options
at Smoke on the Shores this year. I'm finally coming for it. Okay, so I
sick of that crap.
Year. After this year, no more cheesecake. How about that?
Dan, what's your go-to
sick of cheesecakes? It's like you don't have a chance unless you enter one. It's like, come on, man. I mean, I want to see other things win. It's like I'm cheering for the underdog. It's like, let me a key lime pie win the dessert category. I'll be like, yes.
I'll get you and Cotton the secret recipe. We'll talk offline. Okay, I don't want to say it on here, but we're coming for it at Smoke on the Shores this year.
Publix cheesecake?
No, my name's not Caleb.
What's your go-to, Dan, for dessert?
Like for me to eat or an event?
No, for an
both.
All right, stop. We can do this. All right. What is your number one competition dessert, and then what's your number one dessert to eat?
Well, so I've only turned in competition dessert twice, and both were cheesecakes. One was a chocolate chip cheesecake that I've been making since I was 13 years old. And the other one was like the caramel, like pecan type deal. We ran that at Booby Q before the Royal, just trying to get a sense of judging.
And what's your favorite just to eat? What the world wants to know.
And sometimes it's carrot cake.
Yeah.
Okay. I can get on board with that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's carrot cake. Man, actually, for a little bit, I really liked cannolis.
Yeah.
Cannolis?
Yeah. I really like cannolis until I figured out that they're made with fucking ricotta cheese.
Yeah. I mean, that's what makes them good, though.
Cherry cobbler, cherry ice cream, anything cherry related sometimes is good too, especially for People's Choice. Sorry, it's an inside joke, but snickerdoodles. Oh, actually, gooey butter cake. You guys ever had gooey butter?
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm sorry, you can't beat a cinnamon roll. I just love a good cinnamon roll.
Cinnamon roll. So local yokels.
Oh yeah.
Her cinnamon rolls are. Oh my gosh.
Really?
almost every time I know I'm going to see them, I typically order a pan.
You get excited. All right, Dan. So you went to the American Royal this past year, right?
I was
You
there,
did.
yes.
You were there, yes. Did you get a ribbon?
I did get a ribbon both days, thankfully.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your adventure? Because that was like Ice Storm BC before whatever. It was it was cold, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sunday was a bit cold. Yeah, no, the Royal was a blast. So, I was fortunate enough to win a qualifying event at the end of 24. It was a St. Louis Barbecue Society event there in Columbia, Illinois. And like the whole year I felt like I was just prepping for the Royal. Like, so at the beginning of the year, I'd cooked a bunch of big contests, Smoking on the Shores, Osage City, Smoke in the Spring, the KCBS Invitational, just trying to get in more team counts, higher than, 27, 30, right? Getting those 80, 90, 100 team contests. And, went to the Royal with, some great meat from Cordy Meat. And we just tried to relax, just try to get it done. I brought Smoke Ring Barbecue Supply with me and my wife. Smoke Ring knocked out the ancillaries each day, so I can tend to the 4 meats, because there was a comment made to me actually in Murfreesboro from a team. They're like, "Are you doing all the ancillaries and at the Royal?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you need to be worried about the 4 meats." I said, "I understand." I said, "It's my first time at the Royal, and we're gonna try and take every opportunity we can to walk, and I'll bring folks with me, and let them knock those out, and I'll pay attention to the meats." And there was a video that was posted of me actually. So about 10 o'clock. I'm not really sure who officially started this trend. I think we've all heard it. The first person I ever heard do it was Mr. Tim Shear. But at 10 o'clock, or about when you're putting your chicken on, you play the chicken song. And
I have heard that song.
Yeah. So I had heard up in New Jersey that, Uncle Pig's Barbecue Pit, that Urkel used to do that as well. And, it's just kind of, it's something that I, started doing over the last, year and a half or so. And anyway, so I hit that on the old turtle box, and, man, I came out of that door and I was just feeling good. I was, just excited. And I mean, chicken was my hottest meat at that point. And so there's a video online of me walking out of the trailer, and I'm dancing with my pan and doing all this, whatever. And so I put it on the pit and I go about my thing. And next thing I know, there's 2 videos. I think Robbie Q posted one, Smoke Ring posted one. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, here's Take It Easy Barbecue being a whatever at the Royal, like, wait till
taking it easy,
and so we're just, I was just trying not to get overwhelmed, just being that it was the 2 biggest contests in my life.
But at the end of the day, you're supposed to approach it like any other cook. That's what everybody's going to tell you. That's what yet there's probably like 6 people who are there who quote unquote take it like any other cook. Yeah. And that's probably because they've been cooking it for years and years and years. Like, no, it's still the American Royal. Like, it's still.
Yeah. So, So, I mean, I felt like my food was pretty good. Jerry from Smoke Ring, when he tried my chicken, he's like, "Oh, I don't know, man. Something's kind of, I don't know. It's just not." I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. I mean, I thought it was on par, and I mean, I turned in 6, and he sampled one, and I sampled the other one. There's no more to go around. I couldn't run next door to Ryan or anybody and say, "Hey, man, whatever." And ribs I thought were good. They were pretty on par with what I was used to turning in. Pork, unfortunately, has kind of been my Achilles tendon. So I was never really sure about that, but I filled up the box with what I thought was good tender pork and sent it. And brisket I thought was pretty good. So I'm like, all right, well, let's go to awards, see what happens. And man, heard my name, in the invitational for 15th place chicken. And I mean, I just remember just standing up. I was pretty excited. I looked at Ryan beside him, only cans. He was sitting over there next to me. And I looked at him and said, "We in there, baby." And I walked up there and, got the ribbon. And I remember taking a picture and, and then kind of sat for the rest of the contest and cheered for all my friends. And especially, when Halterman hit that brisket.
Yeah.
That was,
I want to talk about that brisket. Because this is my first Royal too, where we and Halterman were right next to each other. And you ever try something and you just know, like, when you cook something and you try and you're like, man, this is really good. I always get nervous when that happens because 9 times out of 10, you go 0, or I go 0. I blank. Like, if I try something, like, man, this is the best I ever cooked. Like, it's almost a guarantee I'm not getting a call that day. But and if something I hate, I'm like, well, I hate this, so there's a chance. Because that always seems to get a call. But with Halterman, he let me try his brisket. And, like, I don't want to say nothing because all the, barbecue juju or whatever, I was like, shit, this is really, really good. I'm like, if there's 9 more better than this, I want to try them because I haven't tried much better. And so, like, I knew that was really, really good. Did you ever get nervous, like, when you try something yourself versus you say you try something of someone else's, you're like, damn it, that's really good, or everybody's playing for second, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, so it's gone both ways for me. So definitely more earlier in my career. Like I specifically remember in 23, we were cooking Collinsville, and I thought I cooked the best pork at that time of my, early career 5-6 contests. And I'm like, man, this pork's really good. And man, was that did not score well at all. And but then I've also had times where Troy, Illinois last year, brisket, man, it was something. Like, I'm just like, holy smokes, man. I turned it in, came back, a couple teams kind of came by the trailer, and I told them, like, hey man, I'm like, try this brisket. One of them was like, no man, I'm too full. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
try the brisket.
Right.
He tried the brisket, and one of them looked at me and he was just like, dude, this is the best damn brisket I've ever had. Another team came by the trailer, Sean High on the Hog, he came by. I said, oh Sean, hey man, try this brisket. He tried it, man. He was right. Him and I text pretty much every day anyways. Man, he was texting me. He's like, dude, I don't know what the hell you did to that damn brisket, but man, it was so good. But we were sitting there during awards, and they're going up. They called Janky for 4th, and I forgot who for 3rd, or maybe it was Janky for 3rd, and then they call our buddy messing around for 2nd. And Ryan Only Cans looks at me and he goes, Dan, I'm telling you right now, if they do not call you for 1st place brisket, like, that was literally the best brisket I've ever had. And it lined up for a perfect actually. So it was kind of nice just to, know in the trailer that it was good. I did cry over a brisket once. I've heard OVS cries when he
Lou Darnell, right after he poops in your trailer.
Yeah, but I did cry. I had a Marble Ridge brisket at BBQ 2 years ago that I was saving in the freezer for a bit. And man, I sliced that thing and my wife looks at me and she goes, what is wrong with you? I'm like, it's just so good. I turned it in and I think it walked 10th out of 48 or 47, however many were there that year. And it's definitely nice when that gets rewarded, right? Because like you said, not all the time. We always say in competition barbecue, man, if you feel good about it, good luck. You're likely going to get kicked in the teeth and something that you think shouldn't score, which I've had a couple of boxes that I'm like, there's no way that should get a call. And I remember getting a pork call last year and I just laughed. Like, I think I just shredded Money Muscle in the box. And I'm like, there's no way this is going to get a call. I was just like, the hell with it. And it did. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm like, let's just take that one. And that just pays me back for the ones where I thought I had
right.
didn't pan out.
2 quick stories of that. I've sat next to awards with a guy who said his chicken was terrible, the worst he's ever cooked. It looked ugly, and walked with a 1st place 180. He may or may not be on this podcast right now. And I've also been in the trailer with a guy who cooked 2 briskets, sliced one, and then immediately started to slice the other, and took one taster bite off the second brisket, and took the whole other brisket and go into the trash. like it's not even a question. Just goodbye to that. We're on to this one. But that's what it's about. It's about the cutting board. It's about finally getting these pieces of meat to where we think they should be. And that comes from 80 plus comps. That comes from judging. And that comes from getting it out there every single time you can and doing it over and over. And you tell me, isn't it boring to cook competition barbecue week after week after week to a degree? Or do you still have the piss and vinegar and the fire and it's great every single time?
No, I think when it gets that old and boring, like, then like you probably do need to stay home for a week. Like for me, I've made such great friendships over this sport, and especially like last year with running some KCBS. Man, I have friends all over this country, right? And like, you know, I talk to them, I mean, almost daily. I mean, Buddy Chicken Ain't Easy, like him and I hung out a lot this past weekend, man. We went and got wings, you know, shared a hotel room, whatever. Like just, man, you know, him and I can just, you know, shoot about barbecue, shoot not about barbecue, about life, whatever, you know, and just come together around food, like, you know, chicken wings. And, you know, I bring him some St. Louis like style sauces and some different mixes. And, you know, we just kind of trade different stuff. And, you know, he got me hooked on the bourbon barrel pickles from Uncle Ham's, you know, so, you know, we just kind of, you know, we trade snacks, and, you know, it's just kind of, it's, you know, it's fun, you know, and like, I can't wait to go out, you know, like, you know, talking with Bruce Q. Hey man, when you know, when am I going to see you again? You know, meet up with him. And it's just, you know, I got friends all over the place. And so, you know, when I get to see those guys and, you know, listen to music and just hang out, have my good luck Bloody Mary. And I mean, you know, go to awards and cheer each other on, and, you know, have some success, man. It's a blast. You know, I get to walk through the door and, you know, hide the trophies behind my back, and, you know, show my, you know, show my kids, and, you know, they get all excited, and it's just,
which is one of the best things about Murfreesboro is that Bloody Mary cart, how they've kept the tradition going on. And I wish more contests would do that. Honestly, I'm a big Bloody Mary guy.
Man, I will tell you though. So I almost had a shit sandwich yesterday because of Bloody Marys.
Really?
And like, so, you know, so Saturday, just with cooking in Nebraska, right? Pretty damn cold, running solo, then doing 6.5 hour rolling double back to, you know, back to St. Louis. Like, so I forgot about the free breakfast Saturday from the church. So I didn't eat breakfast. I had a Monster and a Bloody Mary.
That's all you need.
Right. Lunch, I had, you know, each of my turn-ins, right? But not a ton, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Driving back to St. Louis, another Monster. And I got some real crappy lunch meat sliders from Casey's that were terrible. So I threw the bread away and I just ate the 4 pieces of lunch meat and 2 pieces of cheese that were on it. And I got to St. Louis. I drank a bottle of water, did all my injections, and went to bed. Woke up, had a Bloody Mary. Then we did have a little free breakfast. I had a couple biscuits and some eggs and some gravy. Had that. Went to the 922. Did the 922. Thanks to the Stooges, some Fireball, and went back to the trailer. A guy I hadn't seen in a while, Gary Hodges, Vets Rolling Smoke, came by. He's like, "Hey man, do you have your good luck Bloody Mary yet?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Man, I got a little bit left in the bottle here. Let me make up another one." And there was a little bit more vodka in the bottle left than for a Bloody Mary. So I made up a Bloody Mary as big as I could, and then just dumped it into 2. And him and I had another Bloody Mary. And you know, I had some old Curveball back when, so I used to be sponsored with them. I had some of that in the trailer, and made one guy do a shot too. And the next thing I knew, my wife was texting me at 10:45. And she goes, "Hey, I'm on my way." So I told her, "Hey, will you come by and help me with turn-ins and everything?" Because she doesn't get to always come, and, you know, 35-minute contest from the house. And so she texted me. She's like, "Hey, I'm on my way." And like, I just kind of stood there for a second. I'm like, holy shit, my eyes are in the back of my head. And I realized it was because I literally had hardly anything to eat for, you know, over a day.
Starting to feel it.
Yeah, I had my Bloody Mary, like had all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
And you are GC'd.
I am SOL. I went to another guy's trailer. I'm like, "Hey man," and I told him, like, "Dude, my wife is on her way. I am fucked." He's like, "Look, man, in my bag, I got some granola bars. Like, get the granola bars. Like, man, what else you need? I got some chips. I got some frozen
bread
outside." Yeah, because they put their pizzas outside that they had gotten, so they were frozen. And I'm like, "Yeah, give me the granola bars." I'm walking back to my trailer, just smashing the granola bars, trying to get back there. And I'm just, you know, I'm like, "Man, what the hell am I going to do?" So my wife pulls up, and I just go, "I just want to apologize. I didn't mean to, because it's definitely not me. I typically always
It was an accident. They made me do it."
And that's about it. Like, I'm right. I mean, I cook way too many of these to be doing all this jacking around. And like, I'm like, look, I'm like, I hardly had anything to eat. And I drank my Bloody Marys, and I did the 922 and another shot after that. And I am feeling it. I said, "So look," I was like, "I think I'm in good shape. I got everything off except for chicken." I'm like, "Just help me remember these things." I just start setting shit out. And I'm like, help me remember this, help me remember that. And like, she's like, oh my God, oh my God. Okay. I was like, look, I'm just trying to be honest with you, because if I start like, if there's something
Shit's going downhill quick, babe.
Yeah. And of course, like, yeah, I didn't know how quick I was going to hopefully start feeling a little bit more normal, but yeah, no, I mean, we worked through the process. There was definitely a couple times I'm like, I went to go pick up one toothpick and I picked up 4, like just stupid stuff like that. Like, what in the world's going on? So yeah, just kind of slowed down, but just, I mean, thankfully most of the meat was off. My process is there, and it was, fluid enough because I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't. Thankfully, I think I realized it and took care of it. And thank goodness my wife showed up. And yeah.
So your wife RGC'd yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, she built the kale boxes as always. She cleaned up my mess. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Good job, babe.
I didn't realize that getting a little smammered wasn't part of the cooking process. I thought that was, boating and cooking, any expensive hobby, like alcohol has to be involved, correct?
Golf.
Speaking to the guy who wears a giant clock around his neck
I'm always on time, baby. I'm always on time.
Yeah, no, not for me. I've never been a big drinker anyways, and I think a lot of that just stems from just things that happened kind of earlier in my life, and just kind of never really did all that. I didn't go away to college, so I was never really that partying type. Never, like, I don't even like drinking. Like, I think beer tastes like shit, so I don't even drink beer.
Amen.
Yeah, so like, I mean, at our banquet, I told the bartender, I'm like, just make me something fruity. Like, I want it to taste really good.
Put an umbrella in it.
But I will say though that Kate Rawls has me on long drinks and good boys. I do like those right now.
There you go. Hey, I had a whole summer where I was White Clawing it up. The COVID summer. I mean, I drank nothing but White Claw, so I'm okay. I understand. I'm good with the fruity.
And since I don't do it very much, and I was feeling it. But yeah, no, we put it together, and not saying that Saturday was Saturday definitely wasn't my best cook, and it wasn't my worst cook, but I definitely feel like Sunday, like I felt like every box improved, and I let several teams, including some of the students from my class that were at the contest, I kind of traded some food with them too this weekend, just so they can be like, okay, hey, here's what Dan's turning in, and this is what he's, this is what he's turning in. Okay, how does this compare to mine, right? So I was like trying to help them with that, and several of them, like, I mean, it looked like it was pretty good. I didn't even eat my chicken on Saturday. Sunday I gave both the pieces away, and I knew it was pretty decent just based on how they were eating it, and kind of what I was seeing kind of drip down. It was pretty moist.
Moist.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, no, it was a good cook. My wife thought my pork was the best meat of the day, and that was the one that the judges didn't like.
As it goes.
That tracks.
Yeah, but it was still enough for the RGC. I actually once they didn't call me for fifth, around fifth or so, I was like, well, I know I don't have it because 11-13 had 2 perfects. I'm like, yeah, I was like, I don't have it. And then they called me for RGC. Yeah, it was a nice little celebration, and came home with some trophies and some cash, and made the weekend a little bit better, and actually had something to talk about on this podcast. I told Keaton there, I was like, man, I hope I don't shit the bed this weekend. This is gonna be a long podcast.
Yeah, I hit him up Saturday. I'm like, how'd it go? He goes, not good. And then he hit me up on Sunday with this picture. He's like, it was pretty good. I'm like,
yeah. No, it worked out. That's I mean, it's how it goes, man. You got to just put the meat to the fire again, trust your process, and just send it again. I mean, I don't know. Could have been in a different area. Maybe my cook was off. I mean, I thought the meat was pretty good.
It was the judge's fault. Let's be honest.
Do you space out you're cooking? I mean, how many weekends are you cooking? 40, 50 weekends for all that? You cooking about 30? Like, do you plan your comps throughout a season, either because of trophy hunting, prize purse hunting, points chasing if you get to there, or is it about strategic with travel times, comp sizes, etc.?
So I have a running list on my phone that just kind of slowly gets made just as I hear about contests or somebody sends me a contest or whatever. So like I have this list and I just kind of, as they get closer, or maybe not as they get closer, which is what's happening now, which I'm sure will be a great segue into the BWC stuff, but which stands for Barbecue World Cup, by the way, not.
Let's not talk about the other one.
But you know, like, I mean, I just kind of build this list, and I just kind of, you know, I mean, I have some favorites, you know, or ones I know are for sure's. And then just kind of some, okay, hey, if this weekend, if this one's still available and there's still spots, like, hey, I'm going to go there. You know, planning routes, no, it's not really a thing. I mean, I went, you know, me and Brewster went 13 and a half hours one way to New Jersey last year. Yeah. And, you know, and I ran to Larned, Kansas with my truck and 2 cans and cooked with Dr. Squealgood for, you know, for the rib cook-off. Like, I mean, I'll cook anywhere if I can get there. Well, and be able to get off work, or, you know, work remotely or whatever I got to do to get it done. But
are you going to chase the cup, like the qualifiers for it?
So I mean, if I'm cooking a contest that's already that's a qualifier, then great. You know, I like my goal for this year is to try and have more than one bung. You know, this will be my second year having one bung so far. You know, I was fortunate enough to get to cook with another team, Hickory Stick, at the Jack back in 23, and, you know, cook their chef's choice. And man, I really want to go back.
Right.
You know, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna cook qualifiers and, you know, see if we can't get in there.
So I heard you're gonna cook Alaska. Is that what I heard? Qualifier.
7-team contest in Alaska. Nah, it's okay.
Come on, man, you get a bun.
No, so I mean, you brought up the cup, and I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, competition barbecue. We've lost a lot of great competitions here. You know, last 3-4 years, and some of them have been, they say, due to lack of interest or lack of sponsors or anything like that. And then, like, what's kind of your opinion on the BWC coming out here? You know, it's kind of like a Smoke Slam down in Memphis, you know, just huge prize pool, huge stuff. Do you think this is going to kind of revitalize, maybe bring some teams out of the woodwork, you know, for this kind of prize money that hadn't cooked in a while or hadn't cooked seriously in a while? What kind of impact do you think? Because it's $1 million. You know, it's substantial amount of money, and it's in Vegas. I mean, it's a huge ordeal. What's your opinion on this, and what do you think it'll kind of do for competition? Do you think it'll change, or you think it's just another, you know, good contest?
So me and a couple of teams have, I mean, you know, it's been the talk, right? Like a lot of teams are talking about it right now, right? There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of conversation around it. I think a lot of us are still waiting for the ultimate, like, hey, here's what it's going to be.
It is, the full
here's
structure.
What this means. Here's what that is. Like, oh, hey, like this weekend's a qualifier now. Like, I think a lot of people are waiting, you know, to make on how they feel about it, to really know what it's going to be, right? What is it all going to entail? Right now, right, we have big money flashed in front of us, which obviously is appealing to everyone. What I will tell you is that I do feel like not only in St. Louis, and I believe several teams, I mean, we can all, I believe we'll all agree here, like there is some buzz now, like, right? I mean, Murfreesboro just filled, right? She's filled.
Is crazy. Like, and before February, Murfreesboro, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, because it's my favorite. Murfreesboro, the past 3 years, has grown to the most teams ever. They just beaten its own record for now 4 years in a row, and it's done. Like, it's booked up. There's a waiting list. That's never happened before, but because it's a qualifier, now it has.
Right.
And go ahead.
So here's what I'm afraid is going to happen. So because of this, because of this
little guys out.
Well, no. So, right. So I just had to pay for a contest that's in September. That's right. That's that money out of my budget now for contests now.
Yep.
So in like our BWC contests, are they going to fill up? Yes. Are non-BWC contests going to fill up? I don't know. Right? Like our budget's going to start being reallocated to just the BWC contest because that's what everybody wants to chase, and contests that used to fill, right? Like are they going to now struggle because money's being chewed up, elsewhere? Because right, I mean, now, I mean, I'm without that, $300-400 until September, to where before I didn't pay for Murfreesboro until maybe June or July. And that was only because I signed up as soon as it came out because it was a bucket list contest for me last year and I wanted to cook it for the first time and go chase an apple. So like, and like, I mean, for me personally, for this year, I mean, Rib Cook-Off Worlds isn't very cheap. I qualify for SCA Worlds. That's not very cheap. I got to go down to Texas. KCBS Invitational. Murfreesboro. If I cook Excelsior Springs, like that's pretty much filling up. Smoking in the Spring in Osage City, that's 104 teams already full. Well, 103 and 104 you can get at the the KCBS banquet. But like all these contests are filling up, and they're requiring payment as they should, but like that doesn't make the barbecue budget from teams any larger. It's just making us have to spend it faster.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
and
sucks.
Right. And I have to, right. So now I'm going to rely on, the gas money, right, winning from contests that I cook between now and then, to just be able to then fund, right, for that gas, that meat, this, now, I've been trying to put away, money and meat just kind of as I can, because I know that these contests are coming up, and hey, look, I got the Royal again. That's a double, and I got, and so like, I mean, there's a bunch of contests on my radar. But so I will say that I have been a bit more hesitant to sign up for some of these BWC qualifiers because I don't necessarily want to drop $400 now for a contest that I'm not even going to cook for 6 months. I'd rather spend that $400 and go cook a contest next week.
Right.
Well,
that's the.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's the thing. Like, when you're making these barbecue schedules, your kind of checklist for the year. I mean, you could how many? Sorry, I'm jumping on late. How many on average you think you do per year? Like 25, 30?
So my first year I cooked 20. Second year I cooked 30. Last year was 38.
Okay.
So he's running.
So let's say 29.
We'll say 29 just to be cute. So you're doing 29 comps. I mean, that's a lot, and that's all over. I'm sure you like you said, you have a large radius that you cover. Is like beforehand, when you're looking at contests, were you looking? So I'm guessing you're cooking that mean you're going for team of the year stuff. Or is your primary goal like the jack chase, or do you strategize on these contests, or are you just like, I have 5 that are hitters every year, like I'm doing it regardless, and then like the rest of them is like, is it primarily prize money, is it trophies, or is it like chances at bung draws? Like what is like your rankings on qualifications for what makes you want to go to a contest?
Yeah, man, it's a variety. I mean, I went to Nebraska strictly because originally it was going to be a 50-50. I believe, and now it's going to be a one of 3. I think a new contest just got announced in Nebraska. So, but that's originally why I went to Nebraska, right? I cook SLBS because I love that society. I'm part of the society, and it's close to home, so there's no reason why I won't cook their events. So I mean that's 10, 12, somewhere around there. In terms of the KCBS events that I go and chase, it's the ones that are closest to home. There are some trophy hunting ones. Like that's why I cooked Excelsior Springs last year. I wanted to get a plane, had a 3rd place chicken, fell a little short, didn't get anything after that, but was trying to chase a plane. Went to Murfreesboro because I've heard such great things about the contest and wanted to get an apple. Fortunately was able to do that on pork, oddly enough. And
coming back for the second year.
Yep. Yeah, we're signed up. So we'll be there. Hopefully not as close to the stage. But Yeah, so I mean, there's some bucket list contests where I won specific trophies. There's some contests that I cooked or that I've cooked because of big money, like the one in LaBelle, Missouri. I cooked that last year because it was big money. So I went up there. But there's all like, I mean, I just want to cook, man. Like that's why I don't care what sanction it is. Like I want to put meat to the fire, and I have an opportunity to hear my name called. Whether I'm doing People's Choice wings, like I don't care what it is. Like I want to go out there, I want to continue to, perfect my skill. I mean, if I can do the People's Choice and help an organization with, raise money, which, we're trying to implement a lot of that kind of around here. Cause I think somebody alluded to this the other day on a different podcast. It was like, public has just been gone, from these events for so long. And we're starting to realize that public's got to be involved. And, so like we're trying to bring that in now. And like, how do we deal with that? And, us as teams, we got to be open to that. Organizers need us. We need to be, helping, with these types of things and help make that event successful so it can come back the next year. That's why anytime I hear about a first year event, I always want to go try and cook the first year event. One, I want to be a team contact for that organizer. Like, so that I'm like, hey, look, like, hey, this, I mean, I talked to a lot of teams. Like, hey, look, this is what the teams are saying. Don't give me a koozie and a pin. Give me a roll of paper towels if you want to give me a goodie bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't waste your money on that. Don't waste your time on that. Like, hey, look, here's a suggested prize deal. Like, I mean, I've helped several organizers now just kind of help, hey, here's kind of the framework of what I think could be a successful event. Here's some of the things that you should do. And, they've been great events here, locally. So, I mean, I'll cook anywhere. My list is long right now. But that's also just because I just want to have the dates there so that if something comes up, it's like, oh, well, I was thinking about going, here that weekend. Well, you know what? Nope. Hey, nope. That's when we got to have my daughter's birthday party or whatever. So I just kind of just keep that long list. Now, last year's list was definitely not as long as it ended up being. And part of that was because a thing called points. Like I said, my ribs were hot in the beginning. And I was like, man, like, you know what? Like, I'd love to be top 25 in the country in ribs. Like, let's see if this can happen. Unfortunately, I fell 3 points short and ended up 26th. And that's just one more call. That's 3 more teams, right? That's where max points, like all that stuff matters. And, chicken, like I said, I mean, chicken just caught fire, ended up winning, I think, chicken 4 times in a row. And like all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm chasing chicken and ribs. Like, I'm going to do chicken burns. I'm going to do rib burns. And that's why we went to New Jersey. It was a rib and chicken triple, like basically a double with a chicken burn and a rib burn.
Yeah.
Like, that's why me and Brewster went 13 and a half hours, because he too was chasing chicken points and brisket points. So we went up there, and I mean, man, points chasing makes you do some stupid stuff. But it was a journey. It was an experience I'll never forget. Day one, thankfully, ended up going 3rd overall, right behind Leidiger and Boggs Hogs that had just won. I just RGC'd the Jack, so it was a great great contest for me. And even day 2 had 3 calls right out of the gate, and I overshot the brisket. But it was a great experience. But man, I don't know. I probably won't get to the coast. It's a bit far for me. If I can get somewhere, with a trailer, 6-7 hours is probably my max. I mean, 6.5 rolling double was really pushing it, but I was gonna have to drive home anyways. Like so I was just trying to explain to some other people. I'm like, look, I got to drive home anyways. This is literally 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Like, I might as well cook.
Yeah, that's fair. So I'm glad you brought it up. So last kind of wrap this question of the night. You brought up, crowd participation in contests, and that's something we talked a lot about on this podcast. We always talk about, adding like a live fire event or something like that to a competition to kind of bring the public interest into it, because it's kind of hard for the public to interact at a barbecue contest when, majority of us are in our trailers, or majority of us are, not out and engaging with the public. What is something you can think of that would kind of help, solve that magic problem of getting crowd participation at contest?
I mean, to me, right. You go to a barbecue contest because you want to taste the food, right? You don't want to eat the local food truck that you can have any day.
Right.
You want to taste that competition meat. And so, some contests now we're starting to do that, provide, hey, we'll give you a pork butt, like, cook it the night before, and hey, we'll come get it. We'll, and the organizer is serving it, right? Which I think really helps out teams, right? A lot of teams, they don't want to deal with the public. I'll deal with the public. I'm a personable person. I could, I'll talk to the wall. But so like I don't have a problem with that. But we have to be able. How can we get this competition flavor in the people's mouths? And to me, that's through people's choice. So whether it's competition leftovers, some guys are throwing the shit away anyways because they got so much of it. So why not?
Comp last year did that as people's choice. They said, listen, don't cook anything extra. We're not going to get, but all your leftovers that don't make the box, put them together. We're going to have all the chicken, all the pork, all the ribs, and all the brisket. And that was people's choice.
Mhm.
That's a hell of a lot better than a butt.
The only thing that sucks about it is some teams who cook 8 pieces of chicken. There's not as much as we all know because I mean, look, I know there's some teams cooking tons of meat and there's other teams not cooking as much meat. So that is going to vary unless you have a multitude 50 plus teams.
Right. But you're not there to win people's choice. You're just there to, right. You're just going to give them meat so that they can hopefully raise the money on their end.
It's a fantastic way of, and let's also be honest, most of our stuff that doesn't make the box to the public
still really good.
Is still going to be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I have heard a couple organizers like, hey, look, we'll give you $50 off if you're going to give me your leftovers.
Yeah.
I would bet that a lot of teams would take the $50 discount to hand them your leftovers so that like they can do what they need to, with this. I mean,
I get my leftovers anyway, so I'm like, here you go. I don't even want to look at the stuff about time the contest. I call it the magic box. I put all my ribs and all my stuff in a half pan, and I set it outside on my porch, and magically it disappears. I don't know where it goes. It evaporates into the universe.
Man, that's how you should those sliver profiles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but man,
I just try and give some to the people to pick up my trash or stuff like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Man, like I said, we're gonna wrap it up. This is the kind of show where I like to do little rapid fire questions. Like I said, something we just kind of hit you with. Don't think too hard, nothing too serious. Sound good?
Sure.
All right, man. If you're gonna have a meat Rushmore, man, who are 4 of the people that's gonna influence you the most in barbecue? It doesn't have to be competition cooks. It can be anybody that influenced your barbecue journey.
So my meat Rushmore, I mean, definitely got to be Heath Riles. That's he's I think I actually pre-thought about this question and I like having a total brain fart about
take your time, no pressure.
It
could be Heath Riles twice.
No, he
just a mountain of Heath Riles.
Yeah,
Heath and his wife.
Is it a Mike Mills? Is it a Tuffy? Is it a Myron? Is it anybody? Is it a Johnny? Is it any local cooks with veteran restaurant type things like?
I'd put Tim Shear on there, and part of that's just the way he's revolutionized barbecue. I mean, whether through his products, through Gateway Drum Smokers, like through Marble Ridge, anything like that. Plus, he's local. I think in addition to that, I think I haven't met him, but I've heard a lot of great things, and there's a lot of truth I think that comes out of his mouth. I think Travis Clark would be up there. Just especially from the business side that he's a part of now, and not just the competition side.
Sure.
Like I don't think that's in the cards for the future. I mean, maybe a retirement gig, but just it's like, hey, here's kind of both sides of it. And then, from that, a Leidiger,
sure.
shape, somebody that's like currently, I mean, I guess Leidiger is really the one of the two that are still like currently in the game. I mean, with a restaurant business too, and just, I mean,
dominating,
wearing people out.
Yeah. It's he's one of those guys when he rolls into a contest, you're like, shit.
Yeah, so sorry, that wasn't such a quick response.
No, you're fine, buddy. You're fine. All right, man. If you're going to a barbecue, if you're going to a barbecue comp and you can only, or what's one thing you always have at a barbecue competition and you can't say your thermometer?
My Lucky Rock.
Your Lucky Rock.
There you go. Is that at the bottom of the Bloody Mary to hold it?
See if we can get Mitchell Bedwell going on that thing. No, no. Lucky Rock's definitely there. It came into my life last January, and I think we know what's happened. So
That's fair.
keep
That's
doing
fair. All right, man. If you were Rod Gray and you had the dictatorship of KCBS and you could change one thing, what would it be to make it better? I mean, it's a dictatorship, and you're just waving the wand. What rule would you change? Yeah.
No kale.
I mean, I don't mind garnish. I mean, I think it looks.
No,
I mean,
no
Bigger
brisket.
boxes.
Check.
No, I think.
Meat
I mean,
inspection.
yeah. I mean, I don't think meat inspection really matters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, actually,
It's
I think.
useless.
Yeah, there was a post actually earlier today. I think somebody posted some competition page about like if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, or you ain't
Yeah.
cheating, winning or something like that. And like a bunch of people alluded to like I mean if you're like you're gonna preseason your meat, you're gonna pre-inject your meat or whatever it is. Like I mean,
It doesn't help.
right? Is there really an advantage? Like
No.
Not really. You may end up
Hurt
messing
yourself.
yourself up anyway. Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, I mean, I think we can get rid of meat inspection. I think we just gotta. I mean, I'm having fun, but like we just, it's pretty serious, which I get why, right? There's a lot of money involved. There's big rigs, big cookers, big big teams, big heads, big profiles, big everything, right? And
Right.
but man, sometimes I think we're losing a little bit of that, and sometimes I think we just need to come back down, realize we're all humans. We're all, we can cheer for each other. And that actually, I mean, man, I mean, yesterday I'm sitting there during awards at the SLBS and, you can watch it live on 1113's page. Like, man, that whole room lit up on every call. I mean, all of us, everybody was so excited for everybody. There was no it was a great time. There was no conflict, no problems. We were all there. Right.
One team got more cheers than the other team, and then the other team. Everybody kind of cheered equally.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And right. I think we need to have that back.
That's fine. That's fair. It's definitely fair. All right, at a contest, what is one thing that you've seen at a contest that it really kind of grinds your gears? Is there something you don't have to say in particular? You see anything like you roll to a contest and they do this or they have that, or what's one thing that's silly that you've seen at a contest? You're like, this is stupid.
I mean, I think it's more so after the contest, the whole box pictures. Yeah, like you always see that like the shitty box that just that won, and I was like, man, like that must have really eaten good because it sure looks like trash.
That box had a great personality. I'm gonna start saying that.
Yeah, so and I mean honestly, that's why I don't really post box pictures anymore. I mean, I know how sometimes how people get about boxes, and I've been there, and sometimes I am still that way. I'm like, what the how in the hell?
What we should all do is we should all agree, on the exact same 4 boxes, and just literally post that same image of the same box for every competition for everybody. Like it's the exact same copy paste.
I want to do Chat GPT, and like that's gonna be my post for every time I have like that. I want to do AI to make my boxes, and like that's what I'm gonna post. Just make it work.
Real quick, Dan. Would you, and kind of circling too, would you want the weights for either sanctioning body the same, or would you weight them more equally between the categories?
Sorry, what was the question?
Each judging category, right?
Yeah.
Would you weight them differently to where appearance counts for more or less? Yeah,
no, I mean, I think I think the weights. I mean, currently, I think that they make sense. I mean, taste is king, but we a lot of people are saying, hey, like tenderness, goes into taste. Uh, appearance being worth what, like around 10% or so. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think sometimes, nothing worse than getting a damn 7 on an appearance. Like, they're like, you're just kind
Tell
of.
me why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, to me, appearances, does it look good? Do you want to eat it? Right. Like, it's not like, oh, all these chickens are the exact same size. It's chicken. Not like that's one thing I always remember from Schaefer in his class. He's like, why the hell do I want to make chicken look not like chicken? Like, I want it to still look chicken. Like, not every thigh is the same size, and not like, yes, you probably should trim them to similar sizes so that they hopefully cook the same, and they're, so you're getting similar results. But like, just because, yes, don't put a 8-ounce thigh in the box and a 2-ounce thigh in the box, but like, I don't know, appearance just sometimes just really throws me off, because it's like, man, like, I don't know how else I could have made that box look better. And I got, you get dinged, and which most of the time you're likely getting dinged on taste and tenderness then too.
Yeah.
Right.
A 799 is pretty difficult.
Yeah. I've done it.
I did do it last year too. I'm like, oh, okay, so it looks like shit, but tastes great, and it's
Awesome.
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. All right, man. Last question of the night. What is one thing that you can tell? Say I'm a new cook. What is one thing that during a competition cook you think's the most important, and what's one thing that people shouldn't worry so much on?
So
Just say it.
So not worrying as much about his appearance, right? So like we just talked about. Well, one, you're not going to lose that many points. Like, just put the best tasting and the most tender meat in the box. I still sometimes struggle with that. I've had to start figuring out, okay, like, hey, these ribs don't look as good as those, but they taste way better. They're going in the box, and I just don't care, because right, I'm sitting there like, oh man, like people are gonna be like, how in the hell did that box score looks like shit? So, sacrifice appearance, and then for something to make sure. To me, I always just make sure that my sauces and wraps are just piping hot.
Yeah.
To me, this helps with appearance. You just kind of take away some of the potential shock factor of adding a cold wrap to a warm meat. So the one tip that I will give everybody, so I love using a sous vide for that. And I can just set temps. My sauce is never
scalded.
Yep. Yeah. Sauce is never scalded. Wraps are always a great temp. And it works well. So you don't have to, you're not like, oh dang it, I forgot to put my chicken sauce on the pit, and then now you got cold sauce and you got hot chicken. So
do you care to share the temp in which you hold it at?
101.
I'm reaching on that one, by the way. You don't have to tell me, but I would love to know.
I like stuff higher than 110 degrees.
Okay.
All right. That's fair.
So
fair.
Good luck getting butter to melt any lower than that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, Danny, man. I appreciate you coming on tonight, brother. Sorry I had to hop on a little later. Was definitely listening to it while I was doing the coaching. I'm coaching my daughter's softball, so I had to go to the coaches meeting, which it's a big pile of waste of time.
Who are some of the people
I really appreciate it. This is the time of show where I want you to kind of give your shout outs, let people know where they can find you. If you got any sponsors you want to give a shout out, definitely let you do it now.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Take It Easy Barbecue on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok is Take It Easy Barbecue 314. A lot of content kind of goes up. A lot of Heath Rouse products. We're always using the Springer Mountain Farms chicken, good charcoal. Smoke ring barbecue supply, great place to get all your needs. I got a couple local sponsors, Cheney Windows and Doors. Anybody that's local needs some windows or doors, they've done mine, they can do yours. Corel Roofing, if you need a new roof, or even if you need holiday lights, they can do that too. Free roof inspections. Then we got local Blue Hive honey. that's done pretty well for us the last few years. And then kind of newer for us this year. So we brought on Wild Gear. You guys may have seen them at the Royal. They got some killer cups and coolers. I got actually this killer 2-compartment cooler from them, so check that out.
Nice.
And then the Briner. Everybody loves the Briner, so we're sponsored by the Briner. Great people over there, Turkey Tom, and then of course ThermoWorks. So never leave the house without
Fancy.
Hot damn, dude.
Yeah, never leave a house without a thermopin. You never know when your buddy asks you, "Is this chicken done?" It's like, Jesus.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the day where somebody drops the big one. It's like, I'm sponsored by Reynolds Wrap. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's the big one right there.
Yeah, I tried Kerrygold. I got a 55-cent coupon.
At least
So
try.
you are sponsored by Kerrygold.
I got one of those for a GC award in the backyard one time.
Better than a gift card.
That's true. But man, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. I'm sorry I had to jump on late. Like I said, I wanted to be there, but the guys did a fantastic job. And congratulations on all your success, man. You're definitely killing it. Whatever you're doing, keep doing. And if you want to share what you're doing, call me.
We had a class last month, man.
I know I should have hopped on it, man. But man, I truly appreciate it. And good luck the rest of the year. I'm sure I'll see you on the barbecue trail here. I'll definitely see you at Praise the Lord, and I'll see you smoke on the shore, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, I had to back out of that event, but we'll be around. We're doing an event for Cheney's moving to a new warehouse. We got to take care of his customers. So we'll knock that out. And
guaranteed payday. That's a guaranteed payday. Those are always better.
Yeah, that'll help pay. For the next contest. I got to pay 6 months in advance because it fills up fast.
There you go, man. All right, buddy, man. Well, you take it easy, man. It was great seeing you.
Take it easy. See, look at that.
Take it easy.
See you, buddy. You did it. All right, boys. That's it, man. I'm back. Y'all did all the heavy lifting. I just come in to, at the end, try not to screw it up for you guys. I was listening the whole time. Keaton called me, and I was like, yeah, hold on. Let me get out of this. Like the person doing the presentation, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
You could hear him shuffling through people.
He's like, "All right, sound like a girl, and say I have to come home now."
Stop it now, okay? The red dress. No, man. But guys, y'all did a fantastic job. I just realized I don't need to be here, so y'all just keep it rolling. I'll just keep
good to go.
Get all the recommendation or recognition for it. I appreciate it. But guys, thank y'all so. Yeah, hey guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. We truly appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you saw tonight, please give us a like, a share, and a follow. Man, I saw somebody give us a shout out from all the way down under tonight.
Australia, absolutely.
We had Australia, we're Australia, and surprisingly, we have quite a few followers in Poland of all places. I did the analytics, and I was like, that's got to be a bot. I don't think they do barbecue in Poland, but we'll do what we do. But Keaton, Blinky, thank y'all so much for coming on. Y'all got any final words before the show's wrapped up?
Be good or be good at it.
That's fair, man. That's all you need. We'll get up and get her done. Like I said, man, when it comes to barbecue, make sure you're always right on cue. Peace, guys.
That's all, folks.